Today we're going to be talking about the Poco M3, and I know I'm well aware that a lot of tech YouTubers have already released their video review, but trust me, I'm going to do my best to provide you with a lot of value for watching this video. But before we truly start with this review, there are just 3 points that I want to highlight in this video. Point number 1, this review unit was sent to me by Xiaomi, but it's not gonna affect my review of this. And point number 2, you really have to set your expectations at the right level, because there has been a lot of hype about the Poco M3, and I really get it. This phone provides a lot of value, just like its mid-range brother, the Poco X3. But after using this for a while, I do have a more realistic point of view. So if you guys are right about here, when it comes to the hype level of the Poco M3, I suggest and I highly recommend that you lower it down somewhere about here, or even a little bit lower, just so you guys can avoid any disappointment if you are seriously considering the Poco M3. And point number 3 about this review, I'm not gonna be talking much about specs. We all know about the specs. You can find it on GSM Arena. So I'm just gonna share my actual experience about the Poco M3 and whether this is something worth getting at the budget level. So first off, I want to talk about the design on this. So the back panel reminds me a lot of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that I had. That one also had the faux leather / plastic back panel. So this is a significantly large camera module. It has the Poco branding, and this actually reminds me a lot of the OnePlus 8T's Cyberpunk 2077 edition. And I do understand that this is a very polarizing camera module design, but for me, I really like it. And this is definitely different and unique from other entry-level phones. Let's quickly talk about the ports on this. At the bottom, we have a microphone, a USB Type-C, and one of its 2 speakers. On the right side, we have the power button, and then we have the fingerprint scanner mounted on it. And we also have the volume rockers on the same side. And then on the top, we have the second of the 2 speakers, a headphone jack, and an infrared blaster. On the left side, you have the SIM card tray and the expandable memory card slot. So it's pretty much jam-packed when it comes to the ports. Let's go ahead and dive straight into the performance of this. So the Poco M3 has a Snapdragon 662 chipset. It's a little bit of an upgrade over the Snapdragon 665. So you probably all know by now, this does lag. So first off, you have to know that when you get this, you'll be greeted by a software update. And that software update is an optimization update that does address some of the lag that Xiaomi Fi had with his review unit. However, after updating to the latest software, I still experience a few lags here and there, most noticeable when I'm starting the camera app. It seems like this is not yet well optimized for the camera. And I really think the Snapdragon 662 is very capable performance-wise, because it has better Antutu benchmark points than the Redmi 9A and the Redmi 9C. This one got around 180,000 Antutu benchmark points, but this one has very noticeable lag when it comes to just browsing through the user interface and as well as opening apps. That's the thing that you have to keep in mind when purchasing this phone. There is definitely gonna be some lag, but if there's one thing that I know about Xiaomi is that they will somehow find a way to optimize this. So for those of you who are heavily considering the Poco M3, you need not worry about the early performance of the Poco M3. It's gonna get fixed. So for me, it's not really that huge of a concern. So that's about it for the performance issues or the performance experience that I've had. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the display on this. So this has a full HD resolution, which is kind of rare at this price range. The display is very decent. It's not gonna have very punchy colors, but the images are very sharp. They're fluid at 60 Hz refresh rate. You're not gonna have any problems when it comes to the quality on the display. You'll definitely enjoy watching YouTube videos on this, especially Netflix, because this has widevine level 1. So the Poco M3 has a triple camera setup. It does have a 48 megapixel main sensor, which is very decent when it comes to daylight shots. However, this falters when it comes to night shots. You're not gonna have a great experience with this phone when it comes to taking videos or photos at nighttime, so I wouldn't suggest that. Also, if you're gonna use this for vlogging, this doesn't have image stabilization. For those who are serious about using this for vlogging, you might want to stay away from this unless you use a phone gimbal with this. Now, this doesn't have all the camera features of a mid-range phone, so you will definitely miss out on a lot of features that the Poco X3 has. So if you are looking for certain features, make sure you check out the website so that you'll find out what camera features the Poco M3 has. Now, if you want to see camera samples in this, I'll put a Google Drive link in the description box where you can see actual videos from night mode, from daytime, selfie camera videos. So all of those camera samples will be in the description box. So I've only tested 2 games with the Poco M3 so far, that is Mobile Legends and Genshin Impact. So with Mobile Legends at high graphical settings, you can expect to get around 30 frames per second. There were a few frame drops here and there, but you can definitely expect consistent 30 frames per second. Now, as you can see, this doesn't have HFR mode yet, but I'm sure it will have it soon. But how soon enough? That one I'm not sure. So you can actually play Genshin Impact on this. The question is, will you have a great time playing Genshin Impact? When you're in battle with lots of enemies, you'll have a very laggy experience, and that is with the graphic settings set to the lowest. So I was wondering if there was actually a way to improve my experience with Genshin Impact, but unfortunately, like I mentioned, I was already playing at the lowest graphical settings, so I don't really think you'll have a great experience playing Genshin Impact on the Poco M3. Now, if you want to see a full gaming review for the Poco M3, make sure you subscribe to Hardware Voyage as he will deliver that to you. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the battery life on this. So this has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery capacity, and that is a great deal for something that is priced at $150. Now, if you're gonna use the Poco M3 as your daily driver and you're not really a heavy gamer, this will last you for a day and a half or 2 days. However, there is one downside to this huge battery capacity, because the Poco M3 can only charge up to 18 watts. You have 18 watts of fast charging and a 6,000 milliamp hour battery capacity. Put them together and you have about 2 hours of charging time. If you're okay with that, then good for you. So that is one thing that you need to consider if you're getting the Poco M3. Oh, and one thing that I want to point out about the Poco M3 is that it doesn't have second space. So if that is a feature that you're looking forward to, the Poco X3 does have that. I guess the best question for this phone is it the best option that you can get for its price range? And I honestly think that it is. For the value that it provides, it gives you expandable memory card, a 48 megapixel camera, and a 6,000 milliamp hour battery capacity, as well as a headphone jack, an infrared blaster, and dual speakers. These are features that you don't normally see at the budget level. So with that said, this is a really great option for those looking for an entry-level phone, for those who have very limited budget, for those who really can't extend their budget to the Poco X3. The design is very unique and very creative for the entry level. However, if you can extend your budget, the Poco X3 is still one of the best, if not the best, value phone in 2020. So again, if you can save up a little bit more, get the Poco X3 instead. And if you want to get one, the Poco X3 or the Poco M3, I'll leave the links in the description box. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day. By the way, if you stuck around till the end of the video, make sure to check out the description box to see all of the mechanics on how you can join the Poco M3 giveaway. Make sure to follow all of the mechanics because that is the only way you get a chance to win. Anyway, I'll see you again in the next video.